Hello, in this video I'll be talking about inequalities. So let's start off with an inequality here. It says, imagine that it takes you less than 25 minutes to do your homework. So less than 25 minutes to do your homework. Well, to write that inequality, we say that we need a variable first. So maybe we'll say t equals time to do homework. And then we say, well, t is less than 25. So that means it could have taken you 24 minutes, or it could have taken you 24.5 minutes, or it could have taken you 0 minutes, right? Let's say another inequality is the number is greater than 12. So first we'll say that n equals the number, and so n is greater than 12. So the number could be 12.01, or it could be 1,250,000. And what about this one? If you guys have ever been to the carnival, you probably have seen this sign. You must be at least 48 inches tall to ride this ride. So at least can be a little tricky, because let's think of what works. Could you be 47 inches tall? No. Could you be 47.5 inches tall? No. Could you be 48 inches tall? Yes. Could you be 78 inches tall? Yes, you can. So when you have at least, that means two things. So we'll say h is your height. And so we say h has to be, it could be equal to 48, but it could also be greater than. So we say greater than or equal to 48. There we go. And here, when you're an adult, or maybe even at college age, they have basketball leagues you can sign up for. And some of the leagues have a height requirement, meaning you cannot be a certain height or above. So in this league, you can't be more than 5 feet 11 inches tall to play in this basketball league, because they don't want people dunking on them or something. So in this case, this will be height again, so h is going to equal height. And so your height has to be less than 5'11", but it could be equal to 5'11" also. So we say less than or equal to 5 feet 11 inches. That apostrophe means feet, the quotes means inches. And then for this last thing here, just to start off with something before we start graphing these, if you have exactly $7 in your bank account, we call M equals the money in your bank account, money in the bank, and we would say M equals 7. Now to graph M equals 7, it's pretty simple. You just put a 7, maybe you put a 0 somewhere, maybe another number just to show what's going on, and then you put a dot here. That's it. Let me put it in a different color for you. So you just put a dot on 7. That's how you show, how you graph or draw a picture of something equaling a number. Now, if you want to graph h is less than or equal to 5'11", let me we'll have a new graph here. So to do less than or equal to, we're going to label this as 5 feet 11 inches, and maybe this up here is 6 feet. So if it's less than or equal to 5'11", it could be equal to, just like this 7 could be equal to that, but it could also be less than. So what we do is we shade to the left. We shade less than. So you could be 4 feet tall or something like that. Actually, now that I think about it, we shouldn't really shade the arrow there, because you can't be -5 inches tall. So what we're going to do is change that just slightly. So although somewhat silly, we do have to have a lower boundary here, because we are talking about height. I guess we could say 0, but that's kind of silly. But certainly we couldn't go negative. But we could be equal to 0 or less than 511 or equal to 511. Okay, and the next one, let me copy the number line again. All right, so here h is greater than or equal to 48. So here we have 48, and we need to be greater than or equal to 48. So equal to 48 would be a dot there, and greater than would be like this. Certainly there's probably a maximum height, but we don't really know what that is. So we're just going to make it greater than all the way there. The number is greater than 12. In this case, that's a little easier because there is no maximum number. There's always a bigger number, right? So greater than 12, put a 0 here and a 12. Now, this is a little trickier because how do we show a number greater than 12? Like, how do we show that where this dot is? Do we put it at 12.1? Well, we can get closer to 12 than that. Do we put it at 12.01 or 12.001? So over time, mathematicians realized that the easiest way to graph a greater or less than is to put a boundary dot, kind of like this boundary dot on 48 and 511 and 7, but to show that this boundary is not included, right? Because we're not including the number 12. It has to be everything bigger than 12. So this boundary dot is similar to those, except it's open to show that we're not including that dot. But everything else above that we're including. So 12.00001 would work. So the same is true for this one here. T is less than 25. See if you can guess what the graph's going to look like. We're going to have that boundary on 25, but since 25 is not included, we have to put an open circle there, and then less than would be everything less than 25, including the arrow, right? And that's how you graph and make inequalities. Thanks for watching.